And good evening, welcome to our Sunday Slapdash event, where we like our rando so much, we even randomize the seed, figuring out what our flags are going to be. My name's Vitasia, and I'm joined tonight by CS Radical. How we doing tonight?
We're doing fantastic as we cap off this weekend with a good old slapdash and quite an interesting flag set we're going to see, particularly.
Yeah, this one's super interesting. It's a Sunday Slapdash, so the seed is randomized. It is not a mystery this time, so all the runners know the flags going into it. But yeah, let's do a quick review. We have a 5 objectives, complete 3, and our objectives are cure the fever with the sand ruby, destroy the super cannon, defeat the CPU wherever it is, complete the giant of Babel, which I think we're gonna put, like, everyone's gonna abandon that one. Let's be realistic here. And then rescue the hostage on Mount Hobb. So 3 of those 5 must be complete. What do you think about the objectives so far of this one?
I don't know what you're trying to say here. I'm pretty sure Giant is going to be a mandatory objective here, and no one is touching Hobbs tonight. Okay, like that's exactly what I'm looking at right now. I mean, otherwise, like, it's a pretty interesting setup. I mean, you've got a couple gated behind items with the Sand Ruby and the Super Cannon, but you do have Hobbs as a guarantee 1, because I can't imagine that not being an issue. And then you got a good old boss hunt, and a boss hunt that some people kind of, sometimes don't like to do. But as we've also seen the flag set, and Warlink also mentions in chat, PB2J is on, so technically you only got to do 1 fight in the Giant.
True, and it is the easier of the 2 fights. I think the Elements fight in the Giant is the most time-consuming and has the highest health pool, so you get to do the easier of the 2 fights. It's just kind of a long cutscene and a long walk as well. So yeah, push B to jump is changes the game in very dramatic fashion, doesn't it?
I mean, you can only bypass a lot of this game. In particularly, you don't have to even think about underground access at all, because you can just go.
Yeah, you can just skip all the boss triggers that normally get you to, requiring the hook. Nah, you're good, bruh.
Well, the best thing would be for the seed to start off with a magma key, just to make our runners laugh a little bit.
Well, it's possible, but let's talk about those key item locations, because not only do we have the normal key item locations, we also have them mixed in with the summon request rewards. We have them mixed in with the Moon Boss rewards, and K-Trap is also on, where they could also be in any of the trap chests in the game.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of extra work for Warlink, our tracker, tonight with the trap selection on, so hopefully, you can get a couple of those quick ones, because when you're running really fast, sometimes we miss them, but we'll see how fast that goes. And with the way that K-Trap can work, you could see a lot of early finds, especially with things like Evelyn Castle, if somebody wants to get cheeky and check that Flame Dog in Evelyn or Tower of Zod, I should say. So there's going to be a lot of potential here for some pretty interesting routing.
Absolutely. Other things to point out that just kind of stuck out to me. Kane isn't available for some random reason. So if we're having a Vivalis fight somewhere in a real cheeky location, that might be difficult.
Well, I think every character can jump with that flag set, can't they?
Oh, you're right.
I do think it's funny,
push
though,
me to jump. Yeah.
is on and Kane is not in there. That is funny.
That's okay. That is amusing. Now that you say that, I'm like, oh wait, you're right. Wildish chest randomization, so a flag that all of us who've been practicing for the adamant armor or for the adamant cup are very familiar with. Only 80% of the chests are filled, though, so keep that in mind. Keep in mind, no J items are in chests, no J items are in the shops,
or lifes
in the shops either. So also, you cannot even steal sirens right now, so this will be interesting when it comes to a grind at this point. I mean, no sirens, no Bacchus wine. I mean, we'll be able to steal Bacchus wines theoretically if we can get there. That may not be top of mind, Um, my goodness. So that does make things a little bit difficult from that perspective, knowing that there's no J items that you can find in any shops or in any trap chest whatsoever.
Now we are getting a random kit, so if we're really lucky, you get at least something out of it. But I guess the trade-off for not having J items, well, the dupe glitch is on.
True, we do have item duplication glitch on. We do also have another flag that isn't turned on too frequently, the MP underflow glitch, which is interesting to pull off, but when you can, it effectively negates Tella and Fusoya's MP limitations that they have. I know it feels like once you get to the end game, Rosa, Rydia, Palom, Porum, they have almost infinite mana anyway. This makes it so that you legitimately have infinite mana if you know how to set it up proper.
Yep, absolutely. And then in terms of other glitches, we do have the Sylph glitch, we do have the life glitch. So, very amusing having a life glitch when you're not gonna be able to buy them. So, hopefully you can find the odd one in a chest maybe, but aside from that, just as I look at this, a couple other interesting things. Vanilla Fu is on, so if Fu does show up, you're not going to have to worry about the grind to get Fu spells, so that's going to be nice. The other big one is, unless I've read a little bit off, I don't think there's a pass in this seed.
I believe you're right. The pass is not located anywhere. The pass is not in the shop, it's not in the potential key item location, and it is not in treasure chest. So everyone's going to be having to do that walk of shame when you are up on the moon. So just be ready for that. We have 5 racers who I think are out and about. So it's a small Sunday Slapdash event. I imagine most folks are over at our new channel, Free Enterprise 2, checking out those Adamant Cup prospectus show. Still time to sign up for that event, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're all looking forward to that tournament very shortly, especially me. It's going to be my first one, so it's going to be a lot of fun to delve into that.
So as we look over these flags, what do you think is going to be the story of this particular seed so far? Because there's a lot of things that we haven't seen and a lot of things that folks haven't practiced maybe in preparation for Adamant Cup. Lots of variations from what a lot of us have been practicing. What sticks out to you as kind of the key turning points here?
I think honestly, whoever gets Darkness Crystal first is going to have a big advantage because you get all those extra trap chests. That's going to help you a lot with, getting your grind in towards the later end of the game. Not to mention, obviously, having just the sheer amount of items that you can find there, and with no pass, it's going to be your way into the Z fight regardless. So it's definitely going to be that kind of thing where you really need to get there as soon as you can, because that's where going to be a lot of the focus might end up being.
So we have 2 old men. One of them is super powered, already at level 50 and fully charged up. And the other one said, "Hey, how would you also like your best weapon in the game for you as well, sir?" And handed him a rune axe.
Yeah, I made the joke earlier before we started that if anything goes wrong, it's going to be Alchemy's fault. Well, I guess Alchemy was nice enough to roll a really nice start for our runners here with this.
That's just amazing. It's an amazing start, and one that definitely says, "Hey, how would you like some fantastic routing?" It looks like Fu is. Oh, we are doing immediately the item duplication glitch on Saradin's side, and
we're not wasting any time.
Now money right now is what it's all about in that regard. And we're also getting Fu set up. It's like, by the way, I want my nuke and my quake first thing. Thank you very much.
I really should get in the habit of doing that more often. I am horrible for waiting way too long to get that sorted out.
That's fair, and it's definitely something that you don't normally see. But when you get it right there to start off with, it looks like. All right, so Saradin is setting it up, trying to get it. Yep, there's all
Boom.
those woodens.
How's
Boom.
$2.6 million? You know, no big deal. Also,
And,
no big deal either. Poydrak finding a DKC, which is going to be very easy to Paladin in just a moment, too. So, nice little find there as well.
And remember what I just said about Vivala's being in kind of a nasty spot? It's only nasty if Fu doesn't get a nuke off first, and then it doesn't matter.
So, in other words,
It really wasn't that big of a deal. No.
And not finding a key item there, but a ribbon's not a bad find too. Now you don't have to think about your Fu getting any status effects either, which is a nice bonus. So, yeah, really, I'm loving this start. This is a fantastic thing to walk into.
This has been fun so far, but fun can only take us so far here. Keep in mind, K-Trap is just opens up so many possibilities. Think about how many trap chests there are in the moon. Think about how many trap chests there are in things like Sylph Cave, where we normally don't really go. Also, something that apparently we didn't catch in our pre-speech, characters. Guess what? Free characters everywhere.
Oh, that's true. Were any of the frees checked off? Because that might also mean that key item is also checked. Oh, I didn't actually think
key item. Yeah, key item is no free key item is not checked, which means the Troya area is absolutely available. And Saradin looks like he's at least going to check out the shops in the area because, well, he's got everything. We find a Porum up on Mount Ordeals, meanwhile.
I think we were just so focused with Push B that we were just like not even looking at the other, really important things like, getting a free key item and characters and stuff, nothing that important.
Mount Ordeals becomes a little bit easier when you can jump over the boss spawns points as well.
Now you gotta think though, what if CPU happens to be in one of those 3 spots? Well, I guess in one of the 2 you've skipped technically, I guess.
So just a glass helmet on Poydrak's side. I missed what Saradin got from the freebie check at Bedward.
Yeah, I did as well. We will see short. Looks like it was a pan.
Oh, that's nice. Now, one thing that Saradin is doing, we can get through Tower of Zot, by the way, without the Earth Crystal. Plus, there's a trap chest here, so might as well.
Yeah, a couple of checks you can do here as well. And we'll also see, maybe Poydrak will take a quick save and just check those 2 boss spots, see if he can find that CPU. We'll see. Otherwise, we'll just take this newly Paladin Cecil and run.
Lord Goober, that joke was so good, I am stealing it.
I actually had that joke, and I wasn't sure if it was appropriate, so I kept my mouth shut on that one just in case.
Nah, I'm fine with it.
Well, you might be fine with it, but I'm not saying anybody else in the group might be. I don't want to get banned before the tournament,
Okay, that's fair. That's perfectly fair.
And yet, Poydrak is making those checks. Oh, there's a D-miss. Too bad you don't need that.
Nope, don't need that at all. Meanwhile, Flame Dog check over here. So we'll see what is in this trap chest as well. And Saradin really, when you get a fully powered up food, Rat Tail. That's nice. Fully powered up food means never having to say you're sorry. So we are just really moving very quickly through here. Even though you have a Dark Knight Cecil, you're like, I don't care about
physical damage. Why get somebody to whack that? I mean, sure, you have a guy with a rune axe on, but why have that when you can just nuke?
So Saradin missed the jump, so is now going back and says, "Oh, hello, Edward." There's a lot of Edwards available so far.
And unfortunately, quite useless, in fact, because of no spoon, but I suppose edge is a fair trade.
Not that Edward can't equip the spoon. The spoon is there. I mean, hello, Wyvern, right there, and Fusoya nukes him, and it's got this early part of the race is going to be a little short on drama. I think it's just about the routing decisions that are being made, because Nuke Fu.
I mean, it's funny. We just saw a battle of nukes, and one clearly won over the other on that one. So at least we can have some fun with it. But I think it's going to become very apparent, especially with this Fu being the early drop. Yeah, Darkness Crystal is going to suddenly be a really big deal now, because any of the real danger at this point, at the way that we're playing, is probably going to be there, because even some of the underground isn't going to be too rough yet, unless like the boss locations are really rude.
No, absolutely right. Meanwhile, Poydrick has been clearing out more of the kind of traditional checks outside of push B to jump. You can tell Saradin has probably done more PB2J races, but Poydrick is still a very skilled racer, making those kind of deeper dives and push B to jump. We have a second Sid available up on Mountain Hobbs, and we're going to rescue this hostage because it is one of our 5 objectives. Even though second Sid is, yeah.
I mean, it could have been worse. Could have been a third Edward.
Fair. We've already had 2 Edwards. Saradin rewarded with just a Stardust Rod in the meantime. I say just a Stardust Rod. I like it.
I mean, your fully level up Fu might enjoy it. We are noticing, though, like with the way the key items are being doled out so far, K-Trap is starting to look a little more prevalent as we keep going here, because so far, apart from Bedward, nothing has been in any of the checks that we've seen thus far, apart from that one trap at Tower of Zod.
Yeah, that's the beauty, quote unquote. I'm gonna put that in heavy quotation marks. So, the beauty of K-Trap is that it does heavily dilute where those key items could possibly be, and because they could be everywhere and somehow still in places like primarily Sylph Cave and the Moon. Honestly,
Ha.
oh man, this would have been a much different fight if you went here early on, wouldn't it have?
Well, I'm assuming that the ribbon has been put on somebody, so I'm assuming it's Fu. We at least know one of them will live, so you at least know your main damage dealer is gonna get it done. Not that Golbez in the Antlion spot is gonna be a big problem regardless, but if that's the case, Golbez is not gonna enjoy. Oh no, they're all tied up.
I mean, I have zero doubt that we'll be able to eventually get through this afterwards anyway. The stats in the Antlion spot are a joke, but 3 people are going to die.
I see Saradin also now taking the opportunity to get that Cecil Paladin after finding it, so... Now we know none of those bosses are going to come through for anything, and neither is the key item, but hey, you know, Paladin Cecil, it's kind of worth still, you know, doing at least the cutscene, not at least all the boss fights.
Well, and Fu does go down. That was not ideal. 2 Sids stay up.
I mean, when the most you got to worry about is 350 damage with a Lit 3, that's probably not the most worrying. And there we go.
So even with push speed to jump, it is worth noting that there is still some logic built into the game, and that, you know, to get underground, it is intended for you to be able to not have to push B to jump, per se. So, at this point, our logical underground access, even though we can get in there any other way we want to, should be at this point, I think, just an Eblin trap chest, because we've checked everywhere else.
Yep. But I mean, I assume once everybody gets their little last few checks over with, they'll just make the jump and be over and done with. But yeah, we'll probably find out eventually too at Eblin what's going on there.
Shout out to our tracker Warlink for handed me that information in the chat. Thank you so much, Warlink. How would you like a free white mage, by the way?
I mean, I'm sure some of our big runners would be very happy to see that, especially with a Porum already here. Kicking that Porum out's going to be a little bit satisfying for some.
In particular, she was just dead, so it's not like you lost any experience whatsoever.
Just left her napping at the foot of the castle. No big deal.
Saradin also checking out some of these other item shop locations. Not sure what he hopes to find other than, some ethers or elixirs at some point. Remember, J items are not available in shops. Those are the key things that I'd be looked on. And then life potions are not available in shops. So I got to imagine maybe elixirs is what he's looking for.
Yeah, maybe Cure 3s at best. Like, you're pretty much just looking for the very few things that you might need in a pinch, and that's about it.
Getting final party stuff set up, and he says, no, Doridia.
I'm just doing a little bit of loot checking by the looks of it.
Realistically, we haven't done a whole lot of looting for this seed. We've gotten our parties where we're trying to get those set up, but fully powered up Fu right out of the gate tends to mean we don't really check those other things.
But when you can do things like Poidrag's doing there and just hopping over the Baron guards, you get a few more things done. No, just going straight to the Knazo fight. I thought maybe he was going to go check some of those treasures there, but nope, just went straight in. Also avoiding that Baigan fight too, which you don't even have to worry about because you have to get triggered on the left side of the room, not in the middle like you would normally think, but that's just not where it triggers.
And a free fight where the Demon King and Queen of Ebland are sitting on the Baron throne. So Ebland apparently usurped the Baron throne at some point.
It looks like there was a coup.
There was a coup. And hey, welcome to everyone coming over from Free Enterprise 2 with the Adamant Cup Prospectus. We're doing the Sunday Slapdash community race going on right now. The flags are available for all of you. Long and short of it is this is a K-Trap chat race with 5 objectives, 3 of which must be completed. And we've had a fully powered up Fu from the get-go. From the very beginning.
Jumping quite a lot.
Yes, and push B to jump is also up. So things have been going fast. In terms of key items, the only 2 key items that we found so far, the pan is available at Bedward. So free key item had the pan, which is a fantastic get. Also, the trapped chest in the Tower of Zot did have the rat tail. Neither of which Poidric has made those checks. We've kind of split throughout the entire world up to this point in time.
Beauty making a very good point in the chat there. We need to start having emotes between the 2 channels now for Free Enterprise, so we can do the Spider-Man meme of our own here. We need, like, I don't know. Who does the pointing? Is Edge is a good pointer? That might work out.
Think
and a
so.
Protect Ring and Barons. So again, another place where you'd expect to see a key item and nothing. So we continue to go down the narrative that maybe traps are hiding everything at this rate.
Absolutely.
Man, Evelyn Castle might be a big deal if this keeps going.
Well, I think it is going to be a big deal no matter what. So, really looking forward to seeing exactly what comes of this. So, Poidric getting ready to get his bedpan here.
We'll see if Poidric follows suit with the tower, and looks to be doing so. Saradin, in the meantime, dealing with the Golbez fight that, if I remember correctly, only rewards you with the samurai armor, so nothing too crazy going on here. So we're back in the phase we were at earlier, where people are just doing their last few checks before they take the dive underground, make sure they don't miss anything, make sure their party's in order, and just maybe finding the odd piece of loot that might help them, but otherwise, yeah, it's just a slow and steady preparation and then getting ready to go underground.
Yeah, keep in mind, for those folks who just recently joined us, not a lot of looting has gone on because we've had a fully powered up Fu, literally from the word go. We haven't really had the need to do a whole lot of looting. So expect to see that change before too long.
Yeah, you kind of don't think about looting very much when you can basically nuke every problem you have away. Now we see Saradin also going to complete that 5th objective as well, getting the hostage out from Hobbs, which, again, will be a little displeased to see a second Sid, but hey. It is what it is. You push forward. You hope to see a 3rd Edward later, I mean.
Meanwhile, we'll see Poidric do these checks that are available to us. Skip one boss fight. He'll have an edge very shortly. It'll be interesting. We do have, I think this is a second Cecil setup as well.
Yep.
Or, yeah. Okay.
Think so? It's all moving so fast.
That is one thing that you don't expect in these, in push speed to jump races, in anything that's not push speed to jump. If you're a commentator, you can usually count on, okay, it was Edward and Edge, so Eddie Bros. In normal races as a commentator, you can kind of count on them, on whoever is racing to do kind of the same thing. Not so much in push speed to jump. Our runners went in 2 entirely different directions.
Which is interesting because at the rate all these are, sorry, I said all of them, our 2 runners are doing, they're actually almost like in sync with each other, even though they're in different places, because they're all doing the same checks that they've been working on, just in a slightly different order. By the time that both of them finish what they're doing, I think they're almost right next to each other, because I think they've all each done the exact same checks.
Yeah, it'll be very close here.
I mean, we're going to know for sure because if I'm correct, we're going to see 2 people rushing to Evelyn Castle in just a moment, so...
It'll be interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what either one hasn't done, and I think at this point they've both done everything? Parties are looking a little bit different. Saradin is rocking double Cecils. It does look like Poidric is keeping one Sid around. I gotta think that's going to be for agility anchor purposes.
I keep thinking about it. I think they've both, once Poidric finishes up here on Zot, they're both having done essentially everything that they can do, minus checking the traps in Evelyn and then just making the jump underground.
Oh, Warlink is pointing out Saradin has not yet done Baron Castle.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's true.
Don't need the Baron key, just jump over the guards.
Well, like you just said earlier, push speed to jump kind of makes you somewhat forget the order of things now because there are certain things open that normally aren't, like Baron, or in this case, Tower of Zod. So it's always that interesting thing. Oh, did either check Baron Basement? No, Beauty. I don't think anyone has yet.
No, that's not been something that's been checked or looted, for that matter.
Yeah, Baron Castle is out of logic for the underground. There is a very weird chance though that the basement might actually give the Darkness Crystal, which would be a very interesting pickup.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's first one to the moon at this point in time, because Fusoya can do, especially a Stardust Rod Fusoya, can really put in quite a bit of work. Meanwhile, looks like we have some looting going on. Finally, Eblin Castle.
So we have 3 potential key item checks here. We'll see if any of them elicit something. And yeah, Saradin now about to do that Baron jump. Taking the scenic road on the side as well. I appreciate that.
All right, so we have our King and Queen Eblin fight going off over here to the right side. We know this is going to lead to a Protect Ring. Poidrix is doing perfectly fine. I guess he's got the levels to be able to run through this fairly easily for this particular trap chest. And we'll see, do we finally have some more key items? We've only gotten 2 up to this point.
Nope. It still goes. The quest continues.
Well, the Samurai Bow might be an upgrade, because I did see that Paladin Cecil is rocking a bow right now, which, okay.
You can see that sparse 80 already affecting the chest, and we see 3 empty chests out on the right-hand side of this room. So you're not going to see nearly as much loot as you do, but realistically, our runners are mostly just concerned with the 3 traps. So while you can still get some nice stuff in the not trap chests, I think they're just really hoping to see something nice in these other ones.
Well, from a logical perspective, we have to see either the Magma Key or the hook, right?
Yep. And I imagine they're probably just... Because, I mean, you could have just made the underground jump a long time ago. I imagine they're maybe thinking, well, if I get Magma Key, it saves me the trouble having to walk all the way out there. Oh, hi, Excalibur.
I'm fine with that. I think Cecil is fine with that, too.
And another ribbon, so now you got 2 ribbons running. Too bad that gold vest check is already done, so those ribbons aren't going to protect you from anything now, but hey, ribbons are ribbons.
Thought, hey, let's go ahead and equip this Excalibur while we're sitting here. That seems like a fine move.
Yeah, the chat seems to think so too, although it also looks like it's getting a little cold in chat, so you guys might want to blanket up a little bit there by the looks of it. A lot of shivering going on in the chat right now. I don't know why.
I mean, I did just get a weather alert for, like, what is it? A winter storm extreme something or other, so maybe they're in the same area I'm in. So yes, keep warm, everyone. Absolutely.
Well, and we're seeing our last trap here, so we have to assume that the underground access has to be in this chest then, right?
Yep. Chat, get your guesses. Is it going to be the hook, or is it going to be the Magma Key? Let us know what you think it's going to be. Logically, it has to be something. Or,
in the meantime, I think Poidrax's trying to... sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It looks like Poidrax's trying to dupe the Excals in this fight, too.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, it could also be Harp, technically. You are not wrong in that it could be the Harp as well.
I would appreciate that, too.
I think at that point, that's a long cutscene for just one check, and you have a lot of stuff that you got to get done. Like, I think I'm skipping that.
Yeah, if they see Harp, they're just going to make the jump anyway. But
Like, chat, I love you. And if it was a community race, okay, yeah, I might probably check it for the memes. But if this is a race, like, that's a long cutscene.
But what if CPU's there? And there's the hook. So that's funny. How would you like to go the route that you usually go anyway?
Well, I guess I'll just jump it.
Yeah,
lots of good equipment.
And now in Ceridan's case, I don't think they're going to be that unhappy seeing the hook come out of that chest anyway. When Edge is going to be just throwing X-Cows up the wazoo. And I'm just gonna make the claim here, just based on what we're seeing. In order to explain the push B to jump access to here, look, what's actually happening is that hook that they grabbed, they just hook shot it to the cliff and swung over. Okay, that's the canon now. That's what I'm gonna assume from now on. Otherwise, the first time I saw somebody do that in PB2J, it blew my mind because I didn't realize there was only one tile blocking that path.
I mean, I've heard worse explanations, so cool. That makes sense to me.
Ryba making the good point, though, that with the hook, you could have also checked Rat Tail in the meantime, but our runner, or at least Poydrak at this point, is just going straight underground at this juncture by the looks of it.
Also picking up a full moon. That will enable us to back row glitch our Edge as well. Going through here, making sure that you're checking this chest, because again, trap chests. Trap chests seem to be everything right at the moment.
Yeah, and then seeing all the chests and then getting a full moon immediately after Poydrak bought one. That is great. Always a great feeling. And then also a white spear. If only a certain Dragoon was in the sea, but at least Edge will have something nice to throw.
Absolutely. Making good use of our useless equipment. Might as well throw it.
Imagining saying in a seed, white spear being useless, but hey, no cane.
Absolutely. The only character that will be playing the role of Sir not appearing in this seed.
Although I guess technically if push B to jump is on, everyone's a Dragoon.
Oh, remember that CPU fight?
Oh, hi. So I guess technically we have to actually do traditional access to the underground -1 fight. Also,
you were hoping for freebie. Yep, there's the elixirs that Ceridan was looking for. So bought a stack. Another Cecil, if you're feeling it. I mean, if you have the extra X-Cows.
Well, unless he sold a bunch of them, he has infinite X-Cows. So hey, I think he got a couple to spare for a third Cecil. I mean, with the current party setup, I don't know if you want to take one of Edge, Rosa, or Fu out, but
that's a good question. I do think that in order to trigger that second fight, you have to trigger the first fight, right?
Oh, that might be true. Yeah, my brain was thinking it was tile access, but no, I think that that King Queen Eplin fight would actually be the trigger. So yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So technically, we're doing a traditional hook route without actually using the hook. So yeah.
But we got the hook, right?
So I guess that underground logic that we were using actually sort of came true.
And quietly, you can hear it in the distance. All of our push B to jump champions in the community shed a silent tear. They could not skip the boss while doing the underground access.
I mean, if you really want to, you can skip CPU. If you really want to.
Let's see. We need only to complete 3 objectives. Already have 1 done. Know where the second one is. Right now, it's a race to complete to find the final objective then, and then find the darkness crystal, of all things.
But Vatasia, what if you want to go fast and not have to do the fight? But yeah, it is a very entertaining spot to find that CPU, though. I'm super happy about that.
All right, I missed what key item was in this Mad Ogre chest, so I guess Saradin is going to show us here directly. But otherwise, these two are neck and neck.
That much I know.
Yeah.
I did see white text. I didn't see exactly what it was, but I know it was not a key item.
Gungnir. Okay, thank you, Alchemy. So as we keep moving forward, yeah, there's a little bit of consternation. I was like, I'm going to jump this gap anyway, just because.
Look, it's the alt strat now.
Look, I'm saving frames. We're speedrunning here. I'm all about saving the frames.
I mean, you're not happy you're seeing a Luge fight here, but hey, there could have been worse things. It could have been a Force Gauntlet.
Yeah, Luge is not great here. Honestly, I like Luge in more difficult spots just because he breaks up his HP over 2 different fights. So, yeah, I'm not thrilled to be here, but yeah, it could be a whole lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, you're already a little upset that you have to take the full route now, and then you see Luge and you go, really? I gotta do this bit of a lengthy fight too?
So weird robo-skeleton Dr. Luge comes out. And it's nice for him to poison us immediately and then us get a free heal right away. I'm cool with that.
It was a real valiant effort from Luge's part, but I mean, it just wasn't cutting it.
All right, so our first CPU fight with both Poidric and Saradin with a stack of Excaliburs for Edge to just start chucking. Both of them with double Excal Cecils and a fully powered up Fu, and just because Rosa. So I don't think we're going to have any problems worried about our power levels right at the moment.
Yeah, CPU fights can be generally pretty annoying. This is one of the situations where it's still a CPU fight, but you're at least like, okay, I at least have one good way of doing damage, that being the edge. So it's not the worst case. At least you don't have to think too hard about needing to find like some weird way to get around without getting Globe 199. But in this case, just throw Excals. Problem's pretty much solved.
And of course, with Fu's higher HP, of course, those Mazers do 10% of your damage of your health every time they hit. So Rosa's Cure 2s are able to keep up with the rest of the party not quite with Foos, so throw in an extra Cure 3 there, just to help out.
Yeah, and it's another reason why a lot of people really don't like this fight. Not because it's usually too difficult, but because it's so annoying having to constantly. You're trying really hard to bash the CPU, and at the same time, you still have to have somebody hold back and heal constantly because that Mazer is just just slowly cutting you out.
And Poidric, first one through, although Saradin's right on his tail at this point in time. So both runners are moving very quickly. Second objective will be complete for both runners. First one, Poidric, done. Saradin not far behind. All right, we have it's a race at this point, folks. One key item and a darkness crystal at least. If you get the darkness crystal, it's a great question then. Do you just bite the bullet and do giant? Or do you keep searching around for a little bit?
Ooh, Poidrak going with the cheeky run over to lower tower now as well.
Yeah, well-known strat right there. I shouldn't say well-known. Well-known for those folks who practice push B.
Gonna find an octopus over here. See what the Saradin does as well. See if he decides to do the same thing, or if he decides to go do something else, like perhaps Sylph Cave, because again, all those traps.
Sylph Cave is appealing. I mean, you have... I think that'll be the main trap location, but there's also the trap chest down in the Feymarch as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lower Babel has 4 trap chests in addition to everything else that Poidric is doing right now with this particular boss. So it's also a very attractive location to be in.
Yeah, so after pretty much doing the overworld in full clear and just in slightly different orders, we now have a deviation between the two runners that may actually have some real ramifications here now with all these traps. And yeah, going straight to Sylph Cave on Saradin's part, so it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on between our two runners' checks.
And given the equipment that we have, I don't think either Saradin or Poidric are going to have any difficulty with any of the trap chests that are in Sylph Cave.
Yeah, because
this might even be a great place to pick up levels.
Yeah, there's 2 ribbons, so I don't think the Malboros are going to be too much of an issue either.
Legend Sword. So it is a key item, but not exactly what we're looking for.
And there is no Smith alterations, so I don't think they're going to be really that welcoming to an Excalibur either. So yeah, that's not much of a find. So yeah, like you just said, Poidrak's starting to check those alerts now.
Saradin finding another Excalibur because why not?
Oh, well.
Oh, okay.
There's go mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that is absolutely go mode at this point. So it's like, okay, well, let's... Do you even need to get... No, you don't even need to get the Falcon at this point. Just go destroy it and you'll get...
I just realized it's crystal. Yeah, as Warling said, it's crystal mode. They still need the darkness crystal.
Yeah, so they will still need the darkness crystal. We'll have to keep checking a few things. Miss Micah, because he picked up the tower key, he can immediately go to the tower, and your buddies will pick you up from the underground once you blow up the super cannon. So yeah, it's darkness crystal or bust.
And yet, Rybon, there is no pass. So yeah, in Poidrak's case, it's now find the Darkness Crystal. In Saradin's case, it's Darkness Crystal, maybe Sand Ruby if you find that in one of your checks. Who knows? We know now that Super Cannon is not in his current future unless he goes to Tower. But oh yeah, that's right. You do have the pan, so there's some more checks. You got the Sylph check right now. And there's another Excalibur.
I get an Excalibur. You get an Excalibur. I really am starting to think this Excalibur is not the legendary sword that I've been led to believe.
Well, I mean, they can't be that legendary if Edge can just throw them. Nice little package there on Poidrak's side, too.
All right, so Saradin. Oh, we have double trap chests. We'll see what both folks pick up. Hey, and Murasame for our Edge if we ever swing with him.
Ooh. That's a legendary sword.
Yeah, I'll take that. Slight upgrade.
And you know how I know it's a legendary sword? You can't throw that one.
All right, so we have destroyed the super cannon now. I wonder, and I don't know if I've ever been in a position in a push B to jump seed. Like, if you destroyed the super cannon and then jump back to where you're launching the Falcon, will it launch another Falcon and you can avoid the cutscene?
I am not very experienced in push B to jump. I cannot give you that answer.
If anyone in chat happens to know, if you happen to be a push B to jump aficionado and know the answer to that, please feel free to let us know.
Ooh, Avenger Sword. 2 Avenger Swords. Hi.
I like Avenger Swords. Particularly when we don't have J items appearing in this seed.
Yeah. Man, if that super cannon has darkness. Nope, just an Avenger. Okay. Getting a lot of duplication here. Who needs a dupe glitch when you can just keep getting Excals and Avengers over and over?
Well, worth pointing out that Saradin... Oh my gosh, all those Excals. I think, Saradin, you have enough Excaliburs. I think I saw 3 stacks of Excaliburs.
There's like 2.5, yeah.
He wants to make everybody King of the Britons.
I think he's holding out for 5 edges just in case, you know? Oh, there's the other half of the Smith. Not that you want it. Yeah, and as Warling pointing out, it looks like he's duping the Crystal Swords. So, yeah, you really want money now? That's going to be some money.
That would be some money. Also worth noting, so the Kokol Forge will craft the Excalibur if we wanted another one.
Yeah, if you really were desperate for that one extra Excalibur, you know. Oh, there's our 3rd ribbon, I believe, on Poidrak's side.
This is kind of what happens in the K-Trap races. Because you're opening so many trap chests and there's such good loot in the trap chests, you tend to over-equip things very quickly.
Hey, that just sounds like fun.
Oh, hey, Darkness. My old friend.
Well, now that's officially go mode. Oh, we can dupe spoons now. Sheridan wants to go one more round. Now you can have Edge really throw in some fun stuff.
If we had an Edward, we'd be able to dupe it.
Oh, no, it's true. Oh, it's so sad.
Poidric, what, buddy? What are you doing? You got the crystal already.
I think, yeah, what he would be looking for at this point.
See, he's at 8 key items right now, so I can see him trying to, like, get the easy ones, like anything that's just within reach, no fights that he has to do, nothing. Try to get those out of the way to see, hey, can I get 10 quick key items here?
That's true.
My
With
grind.
with no EXP, you're gonna have to do your grind on the moon trap. So for the best, if you can do the least amount of fighting possible, that would be the case. So yeah, that actually does make sense. Also checking that rat tail by the looks of it too.
Rat tail and the Sheila turn-ins. I figured with all of those, if you're hoping you can get 2, I don't think he's going to get them. We've seen Sheridan pick up a few of the key items that he would have elsewhere.
Yeah, at this point, I think that would leave 7 possibilities because we still look at Earth, Twin Harp, Sand Ruby, Baron Key, Magma Key, Luca Key, and Pink Tail, I think. So, and with all the traps that are still left on the map, that's a lot of opportunities for them to still be in those traps. So, I mean, it's possible, but not very likely. Especially with the rat tail not eliciting anything, so now you're just hoping the Sheila comes real clutch here.
Well, and it's possible, but also keep in mind, if you're grinding up on the trap chest up there anyway, I mean, let's just do it. Let's just grind up on trap chests, yeah.
Yeah, and Sheila's not going to come through. Oh, not at all either. All those freebies, oof.
Yeah, at this point, I think when you're in go mode like this and you're equipped like this in the mid 30 levels at this point, you've got everything you need. Just go start opening treasure chests on the moon. It's a great grind, even if it wasn't locations for key items at this point in time.
So as we see Poidrak about to do that moon run now, Sheridan, on the other hand, is going to be in a very interesting situation because unless he hits the lower tower and finds that tower key that leads to Super Cannon, the only other option that would possibly get him in a different direction would be if he finds Sand Ruby in a trap, or if he just goes and does the freebie there, finds the Darkness Crystal, and maybe takes a run at Giant because that's the only objective open.
Question in the chat, any Bacchus for Poidric? Nope! There are no J items appearing in any shops in this game.
He did find one Avenger Sword out of, I believe, Super Cannon, so it's not like he's going without any Berserk ability.
True, he does have one Avenger. Sheridan, I think, has 2 Avengers and found a Crystal Sword, so his Cecils are both equipped. He duped the Crystal to get double Crystal Sword Cecils. The unfortunate part is Sheridan has all that great equipment, but is in the wrong spot. I'm going to go out on a limb, though. Sheridan has been prioritizing the trap chests throughout this entire run. And with 4 trap chests, oh my gosh, Luca. You don't want to see that.
That's a potential hole. Oof.
But I think, given what we know about Sheridan and how he's been routing this, I think he goes to the tower fairly quickly.
Yeah, it's going to check that freebie first, so we're going to see that Darkness Crystal. So that's probably going to be that decision point now where he can sit there and go, ooh, do I try the Giant because that would put me in go mode? I mean, you could also just go to the moon and just do your grind. Maybe you find the sand ruby along the way and you check that off. But then you got to go down, put the sand ruby in, and then go back to the moon. So that's finding that darkness at the freebie is going to be a very interesting conundrum, because if you could decide to go to the moon anyway and check, now you're going to have to go back. If you just do giant, you're done and you can go to the moon.
One thing that might be...
Oh, now we know the sand ruby's on the moon.
Sand ruby's on the moon. Wonderful. One thing that might be disincentivizing Ceradan from doing the giant, keep in mind, the D machine grind is normally a grind that you can do without any J items. True. However, life potions are also not available in shops right now. So you'd have to manipulate your agility in such a way that Rosa would be casting life on the Ds right as they finished up. Which seems like a tall order, honestly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where that thinking comes now that he sees the darkness crystal there.
Yeah, that's the question, Beauty and Discovery. Does he go ahead and say, yeah, let's do this? I got nothing else to lose.
Happening though in the end, so maybe checking the summon spots first.
And Warlink is pointing out, actually, the Eno XP flag is on, which means for random encounters you can't get experience anyway, so D machine is turned off.
Yeah, you're basically forcing me to chess, which is why we saw Poydrak earlier doing that run through all the freebies just to see if he could find those 10 key items, because he knew he was going to have to do his grinding through the traps. So yeah, we'll see what Ceradan decides to do here, because you can either go to tower and there's a few checks and that's where you'd find the super cannon location, or what looks like he might be doing is going to the moon. Unless he's going to go check those Sheila checks first, which is also possible. But we know that those aren't going to be anything.
One thing that does annoy me about Push B to jump on the moon is that when you jump on the surface of the moon, you have extra high jumps and slower jumps because you're on the moon and you're jumping. But not when you're in the Crystal Tower. It's like there's some magic gravity stuff going on here.
I wonder, with what I saw Ceradan do there, it looks like Ceradan went to go back to get his airship and then decided not to. I wonder if he was thinking, maybe I should go check Sheila first, but then changing his mind.
All right, so Poydrak he's in mid to lower 30s, honestly. So he's not very high level at all, but is set up reasonably well in terms of his equipment. Stardust rods. He's got. Looks like he's equipping his Rosa out. Silver stuff, not fantastic, but between a Sork robe, she'll be fine. White and white. One at least Rosa can equip. Mom Bomb fight. Okay.
Yeah, I imagine at this point he's just doing any last little bit of experience grinding that he can.
Letting one Cecil effectively be cover for everyone while getting Blink set up on everyone else.
And we'll see very shortly on Ceradan's end what that one boss on Giant's going to be, because we know we can hop over the Elements fight. Not sure what levels his characters are at currently, but depending on the fight, and like we said earlier, CPU is a little bit of an easier fight than the Elements. We'll see how that runs.
looks like they're maybe just a level or two higher. He's not. He's done more grinding. Oh, he's taking on the elements fight.
Oh no, he's not. No.
He's like, nope. Kenyaza there, nope.
Okay, so he was going to plan on taking that fight and then absolutely not taking that fight.
Well, might as well check to see if it's a freebie, I suppose. Like
it is some good EXP, so. Oh, hi.
This could be interesting because it's not a high HP spot, but it's not a low HP spot either. I don't know. You might be able to rush this.
I've never actually taken on Plague in this spot. This will be very interesting. Looks like he's just going to rush through and see if he can just pound that Plague into submission here.
I think he's got the damage. I mean, when you have double Crystal Sword Cecil, Nuke Fu, and then Ed just chucking Excals. Like, I don't know when... If you can't outrace it now, I don't know when you could.
Okay, that's not that much to worry about. Oh, true. Warlink mentioning about clogging the queue. I'm still really unsure about how that thing works, so my brain just goes, I have till 0.
Poidric is rushing this, by the way. He's like, my levels are good in the mid-30s.
Well, with the kind of equipment, I wouldn't be shocked by that decision either. Oh, hi. I guess we're getting a surprise while we're at it.
LOL.
Here on the stream, we always do appreciate some memes. But yeah, I guess you were about to ask a very important question, though, weren't you?
Yeah, speaking of memes, we see some Z flags in there. We do love our randomization here, so when we use the crystal on Zeromus, it will randomly change his colors. So the question is, chat, I gotta wind up for this. Whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
And does it have a butt? And is that butt adorable?
I mean, we don't know if it has. I don't think even Zeromus in his current form has a butt.
Grrr, grrr, grrr. It could have had a butt, but it's only half, so that's not... there might be one in there.
I mean, that's... Okay, there's a tail, so there is definitively a butt. Okay.
But it's not visible, it's a shame. I see Skull in the chat. Can you help me out here? Is there a butt omiss?
Scala has never answered any question like that. I don't think, like, maybe. I don't know, Pete. Meanwhile, Big Bang comes out. All right, so we're just letting everyone roll now at this point. Get lives rolling, get cure 4s rolling. I love how chat is, of course, philosophizing over the existence of pixel-based butts. Is there a butt? Is there not a butt?
I mean, it's the age-old question. It's far more important than this race. I mean, let's be honest. Like, this kind of philosophy is way, way more my kind of conversation here. In the meantime, though, Poidrak deciding to reset on that fight. Maybe didn't like the way his options were set up. I see him changing the battle speed at least.
battle speed was moved down. It did look like his Rosa was just not healing for what she needed to be healing for.
So with that being said, we might have a lot more of an even race coming in here. As it looks like Sheridan maybe doing his last little bit of checks. Yeah.
Sheridan doesn't necessarily have any checks that he needs to make, but getting his levels, I think, and is at a much higher level. I think he's in the lower 40s, which is at this point very doable with this particular party.
Yeah, so at this point, Poydrak's going to be starting sooner, but Sheridan may have the edge in terms of output.
I get that sense too. And Sheridan did the giant, completely dodged all of lower tower, which at this point in time really was kind of the money spot for Poydrak.
So while it seems Poydrak's going to have about a 30-second head start, that ground may be covered really quick with those damage levels. So we'll see. This could be a nail biter, folks.
If you think about it in terms of big bangs, it's about one big bang ahead, like just the cast time and the animation. And Sheridan, I think, will have the damage output to outpace at least one big bang over Poydrak. So I think this is a neck and neck race. We'll see how this works out.
We did get a finisher, though. Pyre finishing first with a 56-23, so GG's to Pyre. But yeah, the race is on, so we'll see how we go.
All right, Zerks are out. Darts are starting to fly. No J items, which means no silk webs, which cast slow times 2 as opposed to just the slow times 1 that the spell itself does.
Ooh, and that edge already falling on Poydrak's side.
Yeah, here's the problem. Like the only people that I see on either party that can consistently no one on this screen I think can consistently survive a full big bang. If it's a high roll right now, even the Cecils on Sheridan's side could be one shot at this point. So
and with that sorry, with that edge down too on Poydrak's side, that makes Sheridan catch up even really faster because there's extra sources of damage now too.
Well, we knew this might be the case because of all the grinds that have been taken out of the picture. No D money grind, no J items, so we couldn't do a traditional shop, shop for sirens. I kind of expected them to open up a few more chests, get a few more key item locations just for the experience. Sheridan is in a better spot right now, yes, but I'm holding my breath waiting for this first unnerf big bang, unless he somehow times everything to nerf every single big bang. Poydrak resets out a second time. Sheridan now firmly in the driver's seat.
Yeah, those nukes on Poydrak's end were just not being cooperative at all. Really, really bad luck on his part. So yeah, like you said, the ball completely in Sheridan's court now, and having a much easier time too, again, with those two crystallized Cecils and Edge still happily up and throwing, so.
Well, there was the shake, so I don't think he's going to get a nerf in on this one.
Not sure what the numbers are at. Maybe refill. He maybe thinks refill might get triggered here. Nice
Chucking the
spoon throw
spoon.
Yeah.
Yep, looks like a refill right now.
Yep. Yeah, there's that shake again. So Sheridan really in a good spot now.
He can push it to Meteo.
There it is.
There it is. That was a clutch refill. Whoo! Well done, Sheridan.
And now we wait for that last big smack. And there it was. So with a time of 107.36, our second place finisher is Sheridan. GG's. And we will try to get him in for an interview shortly, hopefully. In the meantime, Poydrak finding that crystal sword that he is going to be very happy to have found now.
Yep, taking a couple extra fights, a little bit extra equipment.
Definitely a very entertaining race up between our two runners tonight. Obviously, Poydrak having a little less luck in the Z fights, but for the entirety of the run before Z, what an entertaining back and forth between the two.
It was non-stop back and forth between both of these runners. Poydrak looked like he edged things out with that clutch play into the lower Babel tower, where he was able to find the tower key right there and destroy the super cannon. But Sheridan, the Darkness Crystal was in a very easy location to get. It's one of the freebie checks. Went ahead and completed the Giant of Babel, and was just in a better level position after it was all said and done, and passed Poydrak up after his second death. So GG's to Sheridan.
And Sheridan is going to be unable to hang out with us afterwards for an interview. So we are still continuing our watching here of Poydrak as he finishes up his grind, hopefully to make his eventual Z fight a lot easier. But yeah, once again, GG's to Sheridan for an excellent run.
And these red dragons are absolutely making life a little bit difficult for Poydrak. Tried to set it up for a crystal sword dupe, but the unfortunate thing right at the moment is that the red dragons are punching kind of hard.
Yeah, they're not particularly the nicest. And, well, there goes most of your damage now.
And you only have Cure 3 on your Rosa. Oh, man. My goodness. So we're getting the spoiler preview. Earth Crystal behind. Oh, Twin Harp. That's a rough spot for that.
It's funny, too, because on the Adamant Cup stream earlier, they were actually talking about, what happens if Twin Harp is hiding the Earth Crystal and you kind of avoid that because of the free item. What a happy coincidence.
Poydrak resets out of... Oh, and he loses some of that experience grind that he just did. Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, you gotta feel for that.
It isn't something that it's something that I think all of us have experienced. We try to get, especially on these sorts of nasty seeds where the grinds are not obvious. So you have to take a few risks here and there. I think we've all experienced it at some point or other where we lose something. We get a little bit overconfident and then we lose something. It's never fun. It kind of stinks, and I get it. So my heart goes out to Poydrak right now.
Oh wow, and the Twin Harp was also on the moon in a trap. That's if you had to do Earth Crystal, what a weird route you were gonna have to take to get there.
That darkness crystal, though, just sitting right there in a freebie spot. Oh my goodness.
Which is so interesting given how our two runners on this just spent so much time on the overworld. I wonder with Pyre finishing over 10 minutes before everybody else, I wonder if just making an earlier dive underground was a big part of that.
I believe so. Just based on how little we ended up finding up in the overworld, I would be led to believe that, yes.
And you think about it too, because you obviously do Hobbs. That's the easy one. That's your freebie in this quest line. You go and make that jump immediately. You see CPUs in the Rubicon slot. There's number 2, and then you get the Darkness Crystal in the freebie. There's your third objective. I would imagine that's probably Pyre's path there.
I'd be interested to know Pyre's party, because we've had a pretty stacked party, I think, through most of it.
You know, it looks like Poitrak got the crystals duplicated properly this time, so at least now knowing that he had the crystals there, so we need to dupe during the behemoth fight rather than having to go do the red dragons, so looks like we'll get another attempt at Z, potentially. Nope, it looks like going to do a little bit more grinding.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm happy with where his levels are at either. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's at 9 key items, and I think that's the difficult part. He's still in the 30s. So these trap chests are not... Like, they're pretty decent experience if you can kill them very quickly, and if you're at your 10 key item, so you get double experience. The problem is he's not killing them quickly, and it's taking quite a bit of time, all things said. So
yeah,
and no 10 key items, so it's not fantastic. This one should go a little bit quicker, though. I think he's got Dragoon armor on both of his Cecils now, and Crystal Sword into he's got one Avenger, that's right, so he's kind of figuring out what's to do with his other crystal.
Oh, that damage on Fu. Ouch. And then follows up by 2 East Cecil. That's amazing. Go from 3,000 or almost 4,000 to 2.
At this point, he's just letting his Zerk Cecil swing. 103,000 experience. Okay. Cure 4 is a big one for Rosa.
And another Excalibur. Can't have enough. Oh, duping the Avengers as well, so he has a second one. Nicely done.
Yeah, that's okay. Oh no. He sorted.
Oh.
Oh no. Okay. He sorted and then just... Okay, there we go.
Okay, crisis is averted.
My heart dropped quite a bit right there.
I'm not that familiar with the dupe glitch, so I'm sitting there being like, I don't know how this is screwed up. I'm just gonna think something bad happened. Okay. So now at this point, we're just setting ourselves up and probably getting ready. Well, it seems to be checking for agility, probably, I think.
Yeah, he dwarf acts Cecil, which is -5 agility at 39. I think that's close to optimal.
Well, definitely a little better equipped, a little better leveled, so we'll see if the Z fight is a lot less stressful than Portar's previous 2 attempts, which just were not helping at all.
All right, round 3. Fight!
So with those crystal swords now, obviously Cecil's output is going to be a lot higher. You're going to also see Avengers, so you're spending less time berserking. Edge is going to be able to just, hopefully, because his health is a little bit higher, be able to throw those X-Scals a lot more freely, which was a big part of why those initial runs weren't working, because Edge was going down really quick in those. And again, hopefully Cecil's going to be able to at least survive a BB, so a lot more potential for this to go through. Can still go a little sour if you don't get the nerfs in, but this is going to be a little less sweaty than I think the last 2 runs were.
I think so too. Having Cecil being able to Avenger himself, I think, will absolutely help the flow of everything. Gets one swing in on his crystal sword before he switches back to X-Cal. Just
Yeah, you see that 5,500 damage. Just a little bit of an uptick in damage now. Those crystal swords are
a little bit. Let's Edge throw one more dart and says, no, we're just going to Zerk you up too. Let's just make it super easy on everyone.
Just sit back and watch the train unfold.
First Big Bang, this one should be nerfed.
Still some high rolls, but yep, that's still more than workable.
And with 2 Cecils at this point in time, I gotta think that we're in a position that we're gonna outrace the second Big Bang. I hope.
Yeah, you would hope that refill is going to be possible with that much damage flying around. But again, you never know if that second BB goes off and it's unnerved. It could put a bit of a dampening on this, but we'll see.
Gonna try for a second slow. Hoping to maybe nerf this. And all right, it's targeting a Cecil.
It's okay as long as he's alive. Everything's still under control.
Looks like we've pushed past the HP refill this time as well.
Yeah, it does look like it. So now it's just a race to Meteo. It doesn't look like much of a race when there's no inputs going on at the moment, but hey, that's just how triple berserking works.
Quint. Okay, now.
Taking a risk with that nuke as well, just trying to get a little bit more damage in.
Know that there's going to be a response nuke. Just got to know who's the target. Get it off on... Yep, says...
Okay, and we're nerfed, so... think we're okay at this point.
Yep, I think so. In fact, that was...
Oh.
We don't even have rocks fall. It's just, hey, we're good. GG's, Poydrick.
Well then. So officially with a time of 1:22:49, we have our final finisher of the night in Poydrick. GG's. And we will see shortly if we're going to get an interview with him. As we're waiting here as well, I want to give a shout out to our restream team as well. Obviously, myself, Invitasia here in the booth, Alchemy on the restream, and Warlink in the tracker. And then here we go. Poydrak has joined us here. GG's to you.
Hey, Gecko. Could have went a whole lot better.
Yeah, those first couple of Z fights, they were not the most cooperative for you, were they? Definitely, obviously, getting a Crystal Sword later helped out, though.
Yeah, I think I could have done it if I actually played the agility hand right, but to be honest, I'm okay with it. I took a few too many gambles at the end. Going through the start was really good, but the end leaves a lot to be desired in that particular race for me.
Yeah, that beginning of the race. I mean, let's talk about, first of all, with K-Trap being on it to start with, but then having a fully powered Foo really from the start. Like, how did that impact the decision-making process? Knowing that you could do anything you wanted to in the World of Light at that point in time with K-Trap on. Literally anything you wanted to do between push, speed, to jump and having Foo there. Still spent, I think, a lot of time clearing everything out in the overworld. So can you tell me a little bit about that decision-making process?
I was always going, before this started, it was like, right, I'm going to ordeals first. That was always my decision. Getting the Foo at the very start sort of made it so I did Baron first, and heck, there was a Cecil. But I was always going to go to ordeals first because that I was basically knowing that Foo was full powered and in there. I was going to be checking every single character location. I was still looking at them for a second Foo, but never showed up. But that was always my plan. Go to the 3 character locations, find the Foo if he's there. If he isn't, make other plans. But if he is, steamroll the overworld. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. Just go through the character locations, then steamroll. That's simply it. It got a lot more interesting once I actually did go down the hook route and went, there's the rest of my objectives.
Yeah, it must have been a very interesting run when you spend basically the entire overworld and you find almost nothing because key items in the overworld were just not happening. And then you get that hook and you're thinking, okay, well, there's the only logical way underground. Sure enough, CPU happens to be in that spot. So now all of a sudden you're doing vanilla hook and then you make that call at lower Tabo, find the tower key. And now you're basically in go mode minus that darkness crystal, which you didn't take too long to find at the freebie. So after all that overworld, like, how was it feeling, like, literally just one after another seeing those dominoes fall?
Scary, actually. Because in overall terms, this was a very early go mode. You didn't really need to do a whole lot to get it. Hob was free. CPU, yes, you can skip it if you wanted to, because Sand Ruby and the Giant were both on the table. But it was that early crystal sort of meant, where am I going to get my levels? That was what was really scary for me. It like, I know that sirens don't exist in this. There's no experience from random encounters. You might have noticed I stopped outside of Cape Bahamut. Then when I realized those behemoths aren't actually going to give me experience because of no experience flag. So it was like, I've got to go and do trap chest or the moon boss locations. So it was like, okay, do Mon Bomb. I thought I might as well just have a go with it. I've got some power. I might be able to do it, and that was it.
Yeah, that routing. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you were the first one to zero miss, and it was you were kind of in the driver's seat from the point that you were in the underground, probably less than a minute ahead of Saradin, at least on the stream. And when you immediately went to do Lower Babel, that was where the first split happened, because he dodged Lower Babel actually and opted to do all of the Sylph Cave and all of the trap chests in there first, given its density. So when you were there, you had your go mode first, and it was just a matter of looking for the crystal to get your moon access, and then that was just free there. So you were in the driver's seat for quite a bit. I think the difference in the routing was that Saradin found the darkness crystal and then said, "Well, I guess I'm going to clear the giant then," and didn't check many other locations. But that experience from the giant boss was enough to kind of put him over the edge, and didn't have to do quite as many grinds.
Yeah, that's the benefit of that giant. Even if you do just the second boss and skip over the element location, you still get a whole bunch of experience. And likely Sylph Cave had a couple of key items which put him to 10, which I never actually got to. I was looking for them, but just never found them.
Yeah, we noticed that too. Especially that made your EXP grinding just that much harder to attain because you're just not getting that double bonus. And it's funny that you mentioned only having to do potentially one fight in the giant, because as Saradin was kind enough to tell us, yeah, you were definitely only going to do one because Kane also happened to be behind that element spot, so it was very entertaining to see that go south. But yeah, overall though, did you think that after those 2Z attempts that you had any room, or was it just a fact of you knew at that point that you probably just weren't going to be able to get it done with the levels that you had, and you were going to have to go and do some extra grinding?
I can do it. I can do it at that level. It's just I would have needed to think a lot harder on agility than I really would have wanted to. Making the Cecil go at 28 for the anchor was okay, but no one else was, except for Edge, and he wasn't really too much faster, was quick enough to really keep pace, which is why that went south. If I had gone a little bit differently, maybe add and put on that Dwarf Axe, it might have been a little bit better. But that's it's something for another time to look into. I just didn't want to think too hard, so I thought get some more experience. I'm probably behind now at this point anyway because of how early it was. I might as well just do a little bit extra, and then even that went wrong a little bit.
Yeah, we felt for you during that first that Red Dragon fight. We were definitely feeling your pain too from the behind the screens here.
Yeah, but I do have a little bit of an announcement to make. And that is basically we've got a tournament coming up. Strangely enough, I'm pretty sure people have been talking about it for quite a few times. And Slapdash is the last community club to stop before that tournament happens. But this tournament, this announcement is actually about Slapdash. Slapdash has been going on since April 2019. I've been running this since April 2019. It has been a whole lot of fun. However, I am going to be putting it onto the shelf for a little bit of time. How long that will be, I honestly don't know. Will it be me that brings it back? I honestly don't know. But this is Slapdash has been running for almost 3 years. It's the original club. You could people have called it, and honestly, I think it's time for it to have a little bit of just a little bit of time on the side, because with everything that's coming on, with all these with everything that's people have got ideas. Slapdash has been at its core chaos. That's why I brought it in. It's random flags. People don't know what they're getting. They race them. So at the core is chaos. There are plenty of options out there that people have been looking into and have discussed wanting to bring in and make a club to fill that chaos gap. So this time, I think it's time to let Slapdash just take a step back, take a breather. And me as well, because I've been this club captain for way too long, I feel. But it's time for it to stop up for a little bit of time. Whether it comes back, do not know. I do want to thank everyone for who has joined into a race, who has commentated, who has tracked, who has restreamed, who has watched the Slapdash for these Sunday nights. It's been a whole lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing what fills that gap, what fills the chaos, what brings what comes on up next. So, thank you. Slapdash takes a back seat. Someone, I'm putting the challenge out for you. Bring the chaos. Have a good evening, everyone. I'll see you all soon.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Poitrack. I do want to say, I've only been here since November, and I do got to say the one puff Slapdash that we did, can't remember how long ago, but it was easily my favorite race that I've done. Not even just on Restream, but my favorite race that I've done in the community. So thank you very much for the Slapdash community as a whole, and yeah, for everything that you've done for the community. I'm sure people that have been here a lot longer than me would know much more of what you've done, but in the little bit of time that I've seen it for, it's been a blast watching, so thank you.
No, that echoes my statements absolutely. It's been so good to be even tangentially part, jumping in here and there where I can. And the Slapdash format is so much fun because it introduces when we get so focused in on the tournament flags, we forget that there's a lot of variety in free enterprise, and I love that we can experience some of that in a nice, not horribly controlled way, because it's still chaos, but gotta love it. So my heart goes out to you, Poidric, and best of luck in the tournament coming up.
Have a good day.
All right. Just a reminder, remember, there is, of course, another community race coming up tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It's going to be the Adamant Cup bracket stage flags. So a little bit tighter than the group stage flags that will be going on. In the meantime, we'll be sending everyone over to Flurry's stream. He is in the middle of a pickup race right now. One last shout out, of course, to everyone behind the scenes who's doing all the work. We have Alchemy with the restream and Warlink on the tracking, and of course my co-commentator CS Radical. Always a pleasure working with you, man.
Yeah, pleasure. Our second time together. It's been a blast both times. Thank you very much for the awesome counterparting to me.
And with that, we'll send everyone over and have a great rest of the evening, and we'll see you at the next race.